Sorry, I didn't realize my microphone was muted. So, welcome and hello from Whale FM, platform for connecting with the hottest movers and shakers in the NFT ecosystem today. I'm Ilus. Please join me in kicking off another episode. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing our special guest for this episode, the inimitable Leeaux. Known as a vibrant, surreal illustrator, since 2014, he has relied exclusively on his artistic pursuits to make his living. He's originally from Louisiana, but he's traded the bayou for the desert, as he now calls Nevada home. In addition to his direct creative expressions, he also has several curatorial endeavors underway. Thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome to the show.
That was very wholesome. Hey, thank you for having me. Thank you for the intro. That was very wholesome.
Wholesome. I guess you were expecting something a little bit more dodgy.
What does that mean? What do you mean?
A little bit more not safe for work, I guess, since you're surprised at the wholesome intro.
Oh no, I like the wholesome. No, it would always be wholesome, I think.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think it would always be a wholesome intro. I would hope so. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no worries. I guess I should be concerned about what other intros you get. But
so honestly, I get a lot of really good ones. I've done some speaking engagements recently, and it's been really cool. So I've been introduced, and it's nice to let people know too that I've been surviving on my art since the day one, what it feels like. So it's always fun to talk about.
Well, I'm actually gonna dig right into that one. So for those of you following along, I'm gonna drop the link to your Twitter in Stream Chat in Discord. But I noticed in anticipation of our call today that you're still kind of surprised that you're alive just from surviving on your art. So what's that about? Kind of fill me in.
It's pretty much it is that. It's exactly that. I'm just surviving on my art, and to this day, I guess that's what's going on. So I'm like legit, like like, okay, what's happening? How am I still like able to make, I mean, because art, surviving on your art's not like luxurious, it's not like always a luxurious thing sometimes. I mean, I guess it can be, but yeah, it's like sincere. Yeah, it is a sincere, like, okay, how am I still making it? Huh?
So when did you decide that you wanted to exclusively live off your artistic efforts? So like, what was the thought process? Like when did you decide? And more than when, why?
So the reason around the time of 2000, so it was 2014, I was at like this kind of kickback with my friends at my friend's spot. And 2014, it was 2013 in December. So it was 2013. It was like a little December hangout. And I was just drawing a picture, we were just all like kicking it and drawing. And then my friend Bree, her name's Bree Wall. She was like, she's like, you can sell that, right? She's like, you can sell your art. I was like, what? Because like she was like talking about how she was selling her art. And I was like, that's really cool. And then so I ended up later selling the piece I drew at the kickback for $30. And I was like, wow, this is sick. Like, I really just made money from art right now. That's crazy. Because like to me, I figured I would need more of a product for someone to have, like a t-shirt or something, because prior, when I was 18, I was like selling t-shirts at my high school. And so I was like, more used to that, but not used to drawing something and then someone wanting to collect it. So I was like, okay, crazy. So he bought it for me. A friend of mine, Eric, bought it for me for $30. And that I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna draw forever. I was like, I'm just gonna make my art, because it's like, at my time where I was at in life, I just wanted to be just like, I wanted to feel more fulfillment with what I did. Like I already realized, I don't know, the internet is a lot, but I feel like when there's nothing better than just like drawing like on a sheet of paper, or like painting something, or just creating something. So I've kind of just been focused on creating for years. But
Okay.
yeah, that's what happened. That's
So it
like, I
seems
guess I
like
answered the why too just then.
so it seems like the stars aligned and you decided to pursue this. That's awesome though. I,
Hmm.
and I guess you don't forget your first sale since you still remember it was Eric that bought it.
Yeah, Eric. He's a fun guy.
Good to know.
He's
But
a
I guess so that explains how you came to this sort of decision. But I'm sure the community would love to hear about your artistic journey. So when did you
oh
first get
man.
started with your artwork?
So with drawing,
Yeah, just in general.
I was in like middle school, or like at first it was elementary school for sure. In elementary school, I was asked to be in a different in like one of the like private art classes, like in like fifth grade. That's where I really stretched my imagination to lay down an image that like I referenced from like the History Channel, and they were pretty impressed with that, and so they put me in this art program, and then from there, that's where I learned a lot of advanced techniques, like in separate classes, like during school. I didn't really like it was like a separate class from everything else, so I was learning technique at a very early age, which I'm now realizing is so insane. And I'm also realizing too in Louisiana, like in the swamps, there's a good charm for creativity there, and they foster it very well there. So if people want to know like where art, like the best artists are coming from, I'm kind of leaning for like uniqueness and creativity. I would say look to Louisiana to find like your creative like vibes or something, or just like to see dope art. Really, like there's a lot of dope artists in Louisiana, so I feel blessed to be a spawn from that, because in the schooling, like in schools, they did have these programs. So like, and I'm sure that these programs are like that in other schools across the country, but like Louisiana is kind of ghetto, so we don't have all the funding that others like states have, and like our funding is used wrong. So it's they prioritize different things out there. So to be able to like explore your art and creativity at an early age, that was a gift, and I was able to do that. And so I drew a lot, and I started making comics, and so my comics are also what I pursued heavily. Like I made comic series and shared them with my friends, and so that was really dope growing up to be exploring with my art. And so yeah, it was just always creativity and drawing and making things has always been a part of me. I was very inspired by like cartoons and animes and other stuff like that.
No, that's exciting, but it seems like that's just not very common that you get that technique formation so early on in your life and career.
Yeah, yeah. I think
No,
that now that I think about it, I was like, yeah, that's you know rare. What were you
no,
saying? I didn't.
that's definitely wild. I don't remember learning any techniques of anything at that age. I don't think I was mentally capable.
They had us like a lot of assignments were just like assignments went into detail. They like really challenged us. They started us off with like using black and white strictly for pieces, and then monochromatic to like play with one color, and then go with your different tones and textures with it. And so it was really cool. And then we experimented with watercolor. I'm like really young, and I'm just doing all this stuff and like making all these cool pieces. So it just felt so good. That was like the joy that art brings to me still then and now. So it's exciting to like have done that.
That's pretty cool. I know in prior interviews and mediums, you've said that your preferred technique is pen, like pen work. That's your preferred medium. But
Yes.
what techniques or processes do you employ when you create your artwork?
Um I kind of so lately, whenever I kind of carve at a structure or something that I'm imagining in my head that I want to draw, I use a like the block kind of like the blocking, like where you kind of start with, like, I didn't really know there was a name to it recently. I just saw like a freaking reel or something on Instagram where they were like, yeah, this is the blocking technique, and I was like, oh cool. I kind of was like naturally doing that in my head, but it's like you start off with these like basic shapes, and I guess it's just like a thing, probably, and then you just like start lightly carving away at what you want to do. But for like, if you wanted to draw like a person or something, or like if you're doing a still life piece, then you kind of carve away at like the space around what the object that you're wanting to create, and then kind of giving it a more definitive shape as time goes on, as you go over that piece. And that's with pencil, though. I'm considering like that's like pencil, more of like a less permanent stroke. But for me, like, while I was in New Orleans surviving on my art, so like this was 2017 or 18, both actually 2016, 17, and 18. Um, I was using a lot of pen heavy techniques, so I was making a lot of illustrations. Even time before then, I was just like drawing with just pen. So um pen's more difficult. You don't get a chance to shape a piece from scratch without like making too many mistakes, but then you just add black. So you just keep adding, you just add black, it's fine.
Fair enough.
Just add
Fair
black to
enough.
it.
But looking at some of your artwork, it seems like you use more than just pen. What
Mhm.
other techniques do you really rely on? I mean, if I pull this back up, this piece that we highlighted earlier, that's in the whale vault. It
Mhm.
seems like it went a little beyond that. So,
Yeah.
what techniques did you kind of employ here in some of your other artwork?
So with this piece, I scanned it. That was a hand drawn illustration.
Okay.
So I scanned that piece, and then I added color to it digitally. Um, with that piece, I think there was a time that I was using uh, Photoshop and not so much Procreate. No, wait, I think this is more of a Procreate background. Yeah, I think that's Procreate. It's really hard to like. I know at a point, like it was around this time that I was, yeah, that's Procreate. Okay. There was a time that I was using strictly Photoshop to add color to the background, and it was very similar tech, like very similar in its color. But no, this is totally Procreate. So I remember, because the background is a photo that I manipulated and like zoomed in on, and then like gave it its own texture. But Procreate, yeah, just like using a tablet and then Photoshop are my main tools outside of illustrating. um yeah, those are, and then I guess like, that's really it, really.
Fair
That's
enough.
yeah,
But so
yeah.
I assume that you use Procreate to get some of the motion, like on the eye or the
Yeah, I started
thing coming
using
out of the.
Procreate for the motion, for the animation effects, but I'm exploring different tools in a sense. I haven't really got a chance to dig more into the Adobe Suite for animation. I did one experiment with a piece that had like a hypno, like one of those hypno rings on it, like animating that, and like I guess the word's tweening, to where it like moves from one placement to another. I think that's called tweening, but that was my first time trying that out. So yeah, animation. I just really I want to be like Disney. Or like Mickey Mouse. I want to create hand drawn animations from scratch. Since the piece we have here that was already like set in stone, like hand drawn without. I didn't intend on animating it when I drew it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So like,
I hear what you're saying.
yeah. So if I were to recreate something that's more animation focused, then I'm considering actually everything I've been making now recently. I've considered seeing it, animated in my head, which always helps with like layering the image and like placing the art onto the page and just like separating my objects. But yeah, fun stuff and things.
Yeah, and just kind of flipping through some of your artwork here at Makerspace, it seems like you've got quite a few inspirations or sort of like different elements that you've drawn on in creating these pieces. What would you say are your biggest sources of inspiration, and have these changed over time?
Mm. Well, my biggest source of inspiration, I guess, is just like nature, um, the realm around me. I would say too, in a way, because I feel like a sponge. I soak up everything that I like and output it through my art, and just kind of like my imagination. I just kind of just zone out and just kind of pull out whatever is kind of in my head. With all the themes, I get real experimental. I like to just try new stuff every now and then. And, some of these pieces too were illustrations that were kind of already drawn out. And then it's been a lot of experimentation, I feel like. Inspiration too. One of my favorite creators, his name is James Jean, and he's one of like, I consider him a master of his work. I don't want to like I'm trying to create my own like vibe entirely with my art. So uh like I'm working my best to be more raw in my output, meaning like I want more of, what I feel to in my head to be seen. So in an example, so I have a piece that I'm kind of working on. Um it's called uh Astral Projection in 2022. And
Okay.
then it shows like a globe with like the lines and meridians in it. And so I have a sketch of it, and I feel like this is oh, look at that, my green screen.
Your
My
virtual
screen,
background is not letting
my
you pick it
virtual
up.
my virtual background. Okay, that's okay. Because I have it on my iPad. It's basically just like a character astral projecting over the world, and I just have the globe kind of like I kind of on fire. It's the globe's on fire, and it only happened to me because the only way that I'm like, the reason why is because I saw a post online showing that the polar ice caps are just going through some intense heat signatures right now, and I think that that's pretty cool, crazy. We'll see. I wanted to embody that with like a new piece, um, Astral Projection in 2021. Let's see if this shows up. That, that kinda
No, now
no.
you're completely gone.
I'm out of here. Oh well, we'll see it later. We'll see it later. It'll make sense later. But the idea is that was to like, my art moving forward. I want all my pieces to reflect, exactly kind of the mentality that I have. So like I'll still be in the form of like, imagination and whimsical nature styles, but it's gonna be more so like I want to deliver a more like a deeper meaning kind of. I want there to be like substance and anything that I create and anything that's like put outwardly. And I do want to kind of have like a slowly start to create this common theme, which I started with Naturia. And um Naturia was kind of like my intro to like uh wanted to create a theme of like nature spirits and their transformations. And so now I'm focused on more of a deeper meaning with like our actual realities. So like bending time and space, new scientific discoveries, anything like that. Like I would want to try to like show my interpretation of these things through my work.
Cool. And it seems like there are some almost like Indian or Asian influences in the artwork. Is that explicitly by design or subconscious?
It's a kind of a mix of both subconscious and design, actually. I guess because growing up, a lot of my influence was with like watching a lot of animes and, um, you know, I would go to a lot of museums and I would see a lot of like Eastern, um, like there's this one museum, there's this one exhibition in New Orleans that stuck out to me so much. Now I'm actually like I'm remembering that one time that was actually a huge like burst of inspo. Um, there, yeah, I don't know. I can't really remember. I can't really remember it right now. I'll probably remember it over time.
Fair enough. Fair enough. We did get a question from someone in the audience asking if anyone has ever told you that they were inspired by your work. And if so, what does that feel like?
Someone in the audience asked if they were
No,
inspired by
no,
my
if
work.
you have ever had another artist come up and tell you that you and your work inspired them.
Oh yes, that does happen. I literally just start crying because I'm like, I'm like, thank you. That means a lot to me. I love it whenever people, are they can approach me and explain that the work that I've created, did like inspire them to keep going, or like even just like knowing that like I'm continuing to keep creating. Uh, I get inbox every now and then, and people, are like thankful for my contribution to this earth with my art, and that makes I just start crying. I mean, like most of the time, like I get all mushy. So yeah, it happens.
That's exciting. It lets you know that you've have had an impact on someone's life.
I'm very thankful too. I like to learn more. I made a lot of friends that way. I
So,
made
what would you say has been the highlight of your career so far? Has there really ever been a moment maybe that you've thought, now I've made it, or is that still a work in progress?
um, you know, honestly, um I feel like me and a friend and we kind of talked about this over the phone, how at a young age we kind of just done a lot of stuff, meaning like like started a band and like played shows and like had all this like fun stuff that we did, and we're just constantly in the state of creating. I i don't there for recently. Okay, so actually recently there was this really nice bougie mixer. There was this real bougie mixer that a friend and I went to recently, and like in there I'm meeting this guy who is like, yeah, I created Echo Unlimited, and that's like a really popular street brand. And I was just like, oh snap! Like I didn't even realize, I didn't even realize how serious this like what was going on where I was at, and everyone. It was intense in that moment. I'm just like, okay, I'm feeling like, yeah, I guess we kind of reached this insane level of networking. I guess I wouldn't say like I like made it or anything, because like but also my to get to pinpoint closer to what I'm trying to get at is that like I feel like from being so in tune kind of like early with like my art and ways to like showcase it, I feel like that has allowed me to meet a lot of interesting people early, and like no one's gonna come like, I guess I'll consider I made it if I'm like receiving an award somewhere in some like bougie audience somewhere. I like direct the film, and then and then I'm like being handed an award. I feel like that's when I'd really be like, okay, I fucking made it. But really though, I kind of like recently I feel like, I don't know, it's been nice. It's been really interesting. I feel like being an early adopter to things does kind of help you have a different perspective with what, what's going on. I don't know. I feel like I don't know if I answered.
Yeah, no, I think
Yeah,
that came across.
yeah, I don't
So
know if I said
I
it
guess
right.
if you haven't yet had that "I've made it" moment, what so far I guess would you say has been the highlight of your career? What
Highlight. Oh
or
yeah,
maybe
that's
something
right.
that you just not highlight, but what's been like the most personally rewarding? I guess is more what I'm after. Like, what's been like the most personally rewarding part of your career so far?
Um, being able to have this art career is like joy every single day, like entirely. Being able to create and being able to just, you know, to be and exist. That's like that's fulfillment. That's my favorite part about it. Um, I made it like a what is it? So being able to create projects that also use my network to help with other artists, like explain, like walking them through things or teaching other artists what I know, or inspiring other people within my like 6 degrees of separation. I feel like that's kind of like, you know, being able to educate others around me and with and what I'm doing and with what and how I do something. I feel like that's my like uh fulfillment or reward. I think. I think I answered it right. I don't know.
Yeah, so to some extent, you like being able to give back.
Yeah, being able to give back is my favorite part.
Yeah, I was gonna say it seems like you're involved in several community enriching activities, and that's something that's like really at the core of who you are as an artist and a creative.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me a little bit about some of those efforts and like sort of like the curatorial things you got going on to like help bring that to the community?
Okay, yeah, for sure. You know what's crazy too is that like when I was 18 and whenever I was like working on like my garments, my t-shirts, there was a promoter that invited me to one of their events because I was like, really, into MySpace, and I was really into these garments that I created and had this whole brand around it. And he invited me out, and like all my friends would show up, like hella people would show up. We kind of just like we were an enigma. Like I created this like enigma of a thing. And it, it to me, that was like at an early age, community building in a sense. So like since then, he was like, yeah, you could like promote your own shows. And I was like, okay, well, let me just check it out. I mean, I knew he was inviting me out because like we would bring hella people, and then like that would help him meet like the guarantee for the.
I think we are having a bit of a connectivity issue on your side. We may have lost him. Bear with me one moment. It looks like we lost Leeaux. Let's give it a little bit and see if he's able to reconnect. Hey, welcome back.
Hey, I crashed. I
Yeah,
guess I
all
crashed
good.
because I got so off topic. Honestly, what I was getting at was that at an early age, I was promoting artists, and I feel like that's kind of the same gist of what I'm doing now is promoting artists. So we, so yeah, with the, I don't even know where to begin. Um,
Well, suffice to say, it's been a conscious choice to give back to the community since you've been in this space.
yeah, yeah.
Do you have
Um,
any ongoing efforts right now that we can flag for the community? Anything that you've got going on as far as community enrichment you want to highlight?
yeah, we have, I'm focused on this project Abracadabra right now.
All right, let
Um,
me pull that up for the community and give you perfect time to dig into it. I was going to ask you about it, so got here naturally. All the better.
that's perfect. Yeah, yeah. So Project Abracadabra. So this is what the idea behind Project Abracadabra is. It's pretty much the accumulation of all of that, like my network that I've created over the years of just being an artist, and like the people that I've met that, like, I guess I would say like own venues or work in some type of industry field, where we form bonds or collaborations to where I can place artists, like showcase their works in partnership with these people, whoever, we would collaborate with at the time. So like an example, say like we make a proposal to Luma Pictures over using their, up I guess their showroom for, you know which I'm assuming will be soon for NFTs. I'm like not even sure if I even be talking about this, but in the event like that would happen, we use a very like a a boot a like somewhat a an esteemed name, or so we partner with esteemed platforms and people to like help showcase, just art projects wherever. So that's kind of like the intention of it is, you know
So it seems to be a
strategic
way to
discovery.
give other artists a voice.
So yeah, in the sense that we kind of, so a lot of artists that I know in person are, I'm helping onboard them into Web3 and into understanding what NFTs are. And for me, that's been a very long process. Like there's been a lot of artists that like it, I like message them, I call them. It's just, the process could go, they could catch on really quick overnight, or like it's just like, a series of conversations with them back and forth. But it's been like that for a while. So kind of getting artists to be able to like, mint their pieces. And then I technically wouldn't want them to like, promote their art to just like a lot of noise in the ecosystem, or just like, you know, feeling as if they have to like overshare either. I wanted to Abracadabra to be, a curatorial, like essentially like a feed of just info of culture, of just art and people and places and things that we just like publish out for people, kind of 24/7 at this point. Um, we're
Understood.
we're making kind of like our own like platform in a sense, like our own vibe,
Got
with
it.
the Abracadabra like identity. So we wanted to be super laid back, like we wanted to feel as if, you're discovering, and then it's like we wanted to kind of feel as if you're like tapping into another like juxtapose, or you're tapping into another like high fructose type of thing, you know what I mean? But
I
like
got
for emerging artists, we're inclusive, so it's more so like our DMs are open 24/7.
So, well, what's happening in 8 days, 22 hours, 48 minutes, and 20 seconds?
8 days, 22 hours, 48.
It's right here, your countdown
Yeah,
timer.
yeah. I switched that countdown. I had it set for the 20 to the 21st. That I think that's I'm wanting to go live with it, meaning I wanted to kind of be more uh it's a surprise.
All right. All right. So I
Yeah,
guess
it's
you're
a
going to keep us
surprise.
guessing
Yeah.
until you're live. Got it.
Yeah, it's kind of a surprise. It's like
All right.
there's a few moving parts. Yeah, there's a few moving parts. Just check back in 8 days now.
All right. Fair enough. Now, to not belabor that point, I wanted to dig in a little bit more as to what prompted you to start minting NFTs. Because if I'm not mistaken, you started in 2019 prior to last summer's, well, actually, well before last summer's NFT summer. So you've been at this a while.
hmm Yeah, so that's exciting too. So there's a site called Elo. I'm gonna type it in the chat if you know.
Okay, I'll pull it up.
So it's elo.co. Let me
Okay.
just actually put my HTTP. Uh, do my URL. I got it.
Yep.
So I was using Elo for a while. Um, it was like a social
Kind of familiar.
network meant for artists, meant for discovering new creators and stuff. The guys who created it, the team that created it, they're called Burger and Fair.
Okay.
That's like their name together as like a design firm. They ended up creating this site called Elo, and I was just an early adopter on it as back then, using it, posting all of my art, posting my stories, kind of making this more so of like I picked the best things that I've done over a period of time, and then I post it there instead of microblogging on Instagram and microblogging on Twitter. I would kind of use Elo a lot, like way more back then. And at the time, Ryoma emailed me from Elo. He found me on Elo, and then he emailed me, and he was like, "They're like, do you want to be on Makerspace?" And this was 2018, and I have what I want to do is mint the email that was sent to me asking about it, saying that they enjoyed my works on Elo, and that they wanted to invite me to display my pieces digitally on the blockchain. And the way that Ryama was describing uh, NFTs in a blockchain is the prehistoric part that I really am excited about, like having as an NFT, is that like this is what one of the founders of Makerspace was describing NFTs were in 2018. So it's like that. I feel like that the way that they described it is still valid. It's still like correct, but to take that info and really trust in the process was like a little bit. I know that Ryoma was like, "Hey, finish your profile," and I was like, I am almost finished," because at the time, a lot of people, a lot of brands, or a lot of projects, you can't tell if they're like scams or not. So you don't really know if what you're getting involved in is like legit, because back then when someone's like Bitcoin, you're like, or like they say crypto, and you're like, whatever. What is that about? A friend of mine, actually a close friend of mine, John, he was hipping me to Ethereum, but like I didn't understand. I was just like, whatever. I don't get it, and I kind of regret that too. It's kind of funny. I'm just like, what's all this stuff about? And then I just, now I'm like, oh wow, like that makes sense.
Yeah. I think we all have that moment of I wish I would have listened sooner and done more. But
Yeah, that's how I felt, and it was really cool though. But I was down with Makerspace. I was like, okay, this is cool. To me, I understood, like I was really heavy on drop shipping at the time, so like I wanted to, um, like I was drop shipping like t-shirts, so I wanted to try out what digital assets look like. It was a new frontier. I had to do my own research. Um, I had to follow a bunch of Twitter accounts that I just be like, okay, blockchain. All right, let me freaking learn, see what you guys got going on here. Or like, some of the founders of a lot of projects too, just kind of was following them at an early time. And that honestly really helped me because, what do? You learn from people who know more than you.
Oh, that's very true. It's probably the only way you can ever really learn if you're not doing it yourself directly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just seemed like this was a natural outcropping of your curiosity and exploration.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I understand that in about a week, in April 4th and 5th, you'll be exhibiting. Oh, where'd it go? You'll be exhibiting a piece in. You'll be exhibiting this piece in Lisbon.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about this conference? I believe it's Non-Fungible Conference.
Yeah, it's a non-fungible conference. It seems like it's got a lot of solid like speakers that are gonna be there. And a lot of people that I followed early in the crypto art space that are gonna be there. Carlos Mencia, I think that's his name. I saw him tweeting that he's showing up, and I was like, oh, not Carlos Mencia, Carlos Mercel. Let me see. Let me pull it. I'm on Twitter. Yeah, Carlos Marcial. I just don't want to botch anyone's name. I'm always oh yeah, you're looking at look at that. Yeah, so I like recognize a few of those names on there and some of the curators and stuff like that. And so I was like, okay, well, count me in. I've seen these faces. And Aisha actually invited me to show pieces. So Makerspace is curating a sense of the art with, and I guess it's they're going to be using infinite objects as the tools to show the NFTs with. And so my piece is going to be showing there. And my piece is animated with the track Shrimp Nose. Shrimp Nose made the audio to that. And
So I'm going to play this for the audience so they can actually hear it.
yeah.
And so this will be at the exhibit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not just like
So yeah, Shrimp Nose is one of my like favorite producers. So I have two favorite producers pretty much. I have like 3, 4 favorite producers, especially if we're talking about my friends, but like kind of Shrimp Nose is one of them. And he just like got verified on Instagram, which I thought was pretty bougie and really really nice.
And maybe make you a little jelly.
No, I'm stoked because that means all my friends are like crushing it right now. A lot of my friends are getting verified. A lot of my friends are doing great things right now, and it makes me feel good because like I'm like right there with them, right there with the crew of people doing great stuff. Like, he's about to come out with an album too this weekend, and I think he has credits on something with Flying Lotus, so I might be wrong with that. I might be right. I don't know. That's the last thing he told me. I don't know if it's like information I could talk about, but always seem to know the tea. That reminded me of. Oh, you know what? Okay, so all right, pause. I remember the countdown. It was two things.
All right.
We're working on something, but also it's my mom's birthday. That's another reason why I do a lot of things on my mom's birthday, because my mom is like my favorite person.
So you do things sort of like dedicated to her, or just to have an excuse to take her out somewhere?
Dedicated to her. Yeah, and I mean, she lives in Louisiana. I'm in Vegas, so I don't get a chance to like do too much this year. I mean, I could make trips soon, but there's a lot to that. But also, yeah, I started another project in 2020, on April 9th also. But yeah, April 9th too. There's something that we're trying to launch, so I guess you can check that then too. But yeah, anyway, back to what were we talking about?
Well, we were talking about
Oh, this is
the
great.
artwork that's being displayed in Lisbon
Yeah.
next week.
Oh, we're talking about shrimp nose. Yeah,
Yeah.
the shrimp nose. Yeah, but also the artwork. Yes, I'm excited. I hope that it piques curiosity for others who are looking to see more of like the naturia kind of kind of artwork that I have going, kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Also,
And all right, I guess that since we've got only about a few more minutes left, I wanted to open it up to additional questions from the audience. And we did get one a little bit ago asking, what are your personal favorite NFT collections or pieces? And I don't know if the person in the audience asking it was asking exclusively of your pieces, or if you were, or if they were asking about in general, including other artists.
okay. Well, if it's for other artists, I kind of have like all my favorites, most of my favorites on the Abracadabra page. One particular person too, their name's Elf J Truel. I've been a huge fan of Elf for like my journey into the NFT crypto art space. I've been a huge fan of them, and they actually went on to create this project called Forgotten Runes Wizards Cult. So like Forgotten Runes is kind of, and they're crushing it with that project. So it's like it's super exciting to see him, like they take their, like, I guess, wow, they're
And you said
crushing
it
it.
was Elf Troll?
Uh Say that again.
And you said the favorite piece was Elf Troll, so one of these
Yeah,
two here
Elf
in the center?
Digital. Yeah, the one. So both of them are like my favorite. I think the one on the left is probably my like main, like my top fave, just because of the green and like the way that it just
This
like wiggles like that.
this one here?
Yeah, I just like the green and the way that it kind of
Alright, fair enough.
vibrates around.
It's taking
Um,
so this one here.
yeah, Rev now. Yeah,
Okay.
that one's fun. And so Elf created Forgotten Runes. So I like that kind of, I like what they're doing with that. I like that collection. For my piece, I don't necessarily know which one's my favorite. I really liked this one that I've made recently called Atomos. And Atomos is supposed to be the intro to where my art will be seen teetering on the concepts of, our human experience, parallel reality dimensions, and our or just like, if you go to my like main website, I can show you Atomos. So if you go to like Leeaux.com.
Yep, I actually had that right here.
Oh yeah. Okay, Atomos is the one with the sword. So that's one of my like favorite pieces recently. Because it's supposed to be mankind splitting the atom,
Okay.
and I wanted to kind of focus more, like I mentioned earlier with my art, like I wanted to have a more natural approach in like my creation, and I wanted to reflect, my where my head's at. And so that one's, I wanted to focus on like, we split this atom, and then all this crazy stuff started happening afterwards. So that was kind of one of the ideas behind it. I wanted to focus on like our history and our human experience and what's kind of being weird, the weird stuff that's coming afterwards after it.
All right. Well, for what it's worth, right now I'm seeing some comments in the community Discord where people are asking if we can have a field trip to Lisbon to see your work in person.
Oh, what? Are they really going to?
Oh no, I think everyone's kind of wishing they could. So
I wish I could too. I really want to see. I want to see this piece up in Lisbon. I think it's only one piece that they will have on display for me. I think as well. It's since it's a conference, there'll be a group show, so there's going to be a lot of incredible pieces. I'm curious to see. I'll get photos back of Naturia Piper on display, and I'll probably start crying when I get it. But
so another highlight for you.
yeah, another wholesome highlight for me. Are you wait, we only have a few more minutes left. I wanted to talk about Team Kill Everyone.
All right, Team Kill Everyone. 1 second. We'll pull that up real quick.
Okay.
I think no, where to go? I had it here. There we go.
Yeah, that's so the accumulation of just like our decade long of creation is we kind of output all of our like our creative endeavors onto that site. When I say we, it's just like me and a few of my friends. But Team Kill Everyone is one of our like day one projects that we're using as like, it's like Team Kill Everyone is the gallery owner. Like it's like Team Kill Everyone created the gallery Abracadabra. So that's like kind of what it is in a sense in our heads. So like hopefully soon, if people wanted to, and this is where I put a lot of my time and energy on these like I create my art a lot, but this is also too art. It's a form of expression. Like there's a lot of videos that we've created. There's a lot of like artists we want to give shine to on there. There's a lot of artists that we promote through these platforms. So it's exciting. So I'm glad that I had a chance to share this too, because this is when 2010, before I was completely surviving on my art. 2010, 2011, we would have like concerts, and promote artists through concerts and events and stuff like that. And yeah, we're still collectively together, brainstorming on how to make these things happen cooler for people. So yeah, that's just like a part of it too. I consider it still the the bread and butter. I don't know. That's most that I got to say. I didn't know if you
for those in the community and that are watching this stream, whether live or recorded in the future, what would be the best way for them to keep up with you? Would it be your main site, the Leeaux.com, your Twitter, combination of different things?
A combination of both. Mostly my Leeaux.com would have pretty much everything you need to do to reach me. Most of my websites I try to have as like a good landing page for further engagement. But I will say that like the sites, they get posted, they get updated over time. I would say frequently. So things change. But yeah, a good point too is if you're more active on Twitter or just whatever social handle that you like, there's links for that. So
I was gonna say you have the week puzzle effects.
Oh my god, yeah, I was just about to say puzzle effects. Puzzle effects is my most favorite thing right now in my life. I keep there's so much going on, there's so much going on.
Kind of fine. I thought I had it open. Well, here it is. Puzzle effects.
Yeah, puzzle effects is seriously, it's insane what's going on in Colorado right now with puzzle effects. That's my childhood friend Chad LaFarlette. I've known him for 13 or 14 years or so. We're just kids, and we're grouped up together now, where my art is, we're using my art to create the skate brand, and it's doing really well in Colorado. I guess I guess it's saving the best for last in this situation, but it's a gym to me. It's like exciting to see the community could be to grow around skate culture and my art with it. So like it's really sick. It's kind of like everything happening at once makes me feel comfortable and makes me knowing that, like, just these, I have these different projects, a lot of different projects that are kind of that have a life of their own in in a way. But yeah,
Well, the fact that they're hitting all at once is a great thing. It's just I'm sure that it's the result of a lot of effort and work put in initially that it just is all coming to fruition together now.
Yes, precisely. Yeah, precisely. That's what it's really feeling like, and I think that Project Abracadabra really helped with that. I think it just like the inspiration and the fuel behind wanting to create this gallery. Like I want to have the plan is to have a physical gallery soon in Vegas, and that's like the main plan. But once I felt like we started really taking that part seriously, like all these pieces started to just come together for us better. And it's more something that we can sell Project Abracadabra to, like, we can show that off and it be received by people easier than we promote Team Kill Everyone. So like we can't really say, hey, come vibe with us at Team Kill Everyone, because some people will be like, what does that mean? And well, I mean, we want people to explore, so we want you to like look into we want you people to explore the rabbit hole, to search, to seek, to try new things. Go eat a bagel with like locks on it. Go do something. I don't know. We wanted to encourage freedom with the idea of that brand, but it's not easy people don't receive it too well. But yeah.
Oh, fair enough. Appreciate the color and context. And no, I think it's been very clear that throughout this entire conversation that you are one that wants to give back as much as you get, and if not give back more than you've gotten. And I think that comes through a lot with through your artwork as well as through some of the things we talked about. So that's very exciting, and it's always nice to see when someone appreciates the opportunities they've had and tries to pay it forward.
Yeah, I'm so grateful of my opportunities. Literally, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the kindness of others. So like I wouldn't be able to exist if it wasn't for the kindness of others. So that's like the main thing, you know what I mean? Like being an artist and surviving on your art solely, it's like I depend on the outside world, Like I can't really I can create great works, but if people can't see these great works, or if they can't, if they don't, if that's, yeah, you get it.
Yeah,
I don't
gotcha.
I don't want to take too much of time.
All right. Well,
That's funny.
Leeaux, it's been amazing having you with us today.
Thank you.
On
I'm so
behalf
happy.
of all of us here at Whale, thank you for joining us. I feel like we've gotten to know you and your art a lot better, and we look forward to all the new things you've got coming down the pipe. And again, thanks a lot for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was a pleasure being here. I hope this inspired someone somewhere, somehow.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you very much, and until next time.
Thank you.